And I am Lisa. I am your customer support person at Oh My Hi.
Okay, so we are talking about kind of the hero image, like the main kind of banner that you have on your website. And I'm super excited about this because last month we talked about the like announcement bar, which is a great place to highlight things. And I don't know what you think, Lisa, but I feel like your hero image and kind of what you have on your website right when people land on it is kind of the second most important. Like, so these two things in tandem can work really well together and are really kind of, I think, overlooked or people don't necessarily understand the importance of that space on your website.
Yeah, and I'm really excited to hear what you have to say here because I think a lot of people I I'm not going to say misuse it, but maybe put the wrong information first. So I am excited to share this with the community, and I know they're going to have a lot of takeaways. So
Yeah. So we've got three examples that we're going to look at from three kind of different styles. But before we look at those, I kind of wanted just to jump in and say that that image is meant to pull people in and get people to understand what you do, what the problem is that you solve, how they're going, like what's in it for them, and really encourage people to continue the scroll. Like the goal of that area is, okay, I'm here, I'm interested, I'm gonna look for more. What else do you have to offer? And I think to your point, a lot of times what we see is people wanting to talk more about themselves. Here's what I do. You know, here's
mhm.
here's all about me. And yes, we a lot of us are in personal brands, and so we do want to keep ourselves front and center so people are connecting with us in other places. When they come to their website, they know they're in the right place. Um, but we also want to make sure that we are making it about them and I didn't prep you with this, Lisa, so hopefully you have a good thought about this. But I feel like the importance of your website is yes, to allow people to scroll, buy, purchase, connect, whatever, but it's also to encourage people to leave if you're not their cup of tea. Because I think I've had this experience, I'm sure you've had this experience where when we try to be all things to all people, we tend to bring in customers or clients that are actually like draining. Like they
Mhm.
have too many questions, they want all of the things, and we spend all this time, giving them a custom skincare plan, and then they buy one thing, never come back again. And so I think it's important for us to kind of bring people in that are our ideal people and also allow people to leave if they're like, you know what? I don't think you're kind of the right person for me. I don't know. What's been
I
your experience with that?
I totally agree because I lived too long trying to help everyone. And when I niche down and realized that, okay, this is my offering, if it suits you, great. If not, I'm sure someone else can help you. So it just goes to the same thing, thinking about your emails when people unsubscribe. That's okay. They weren't your people, and we don't need them on your list to just to have numbers, right?
Yep.
So that's the same with people coming to your website. If they're not interested in what you have to offer, let's make it clear what you offer. Don't bend the rules just for them. This is what I offer. Is it good for you? Great. Then scroll on. If not, yep, it's time you're bouncing.
I love it. Okay, great. We're on the same page. Okay, so let's look at a few examples here, and then Lisa's gonna walk us through how to actually make it happen. So, of course, we're going to feature the wonderful Becky Launder. And again, because she's a personal brand, I definitely recommend, a photo with her makes sense here, right? The things that we want to think about so what we're talking about is this section here, like what we see before we have to scroll. And we want to have a combination of photos that grab our attention and then playing with the fonts and the text to make sure that it's easy to skim. So the unfiltered business insights you didn't know you needed. So words matter. Like unfiltered to me, then now I'm like, okay, so she's just gonna give it to me. She's not gonna try to be all sugar coated and yeah, you could do it. And Becky's amazing and she's gonna be super empowering and motivating, but the word unfilter is super intentional, I assume, and a great way to kind of set you apart. And that you didn't know you needed is also really impactful because it's not just the same old that you've been getting from everybody else, right? And then the other thing that's really important in this area is kind of what's your call to action? And this should be very intentional and very based off your goals. So for Becky, her goal is to get as many people on her email list as possible, right? She's not pushing people to sales here. She's pushing people to her email list because she knows for her business that's where the conversions happen. So what I love here is she's also giving you what's going to be in the email. It's not just sign up for my email. Behind the scenes biz, spicy hot takes. And this is really smart that I don't share on social, right? So, like, you're not getting this information somewhere else. You're getting it in the email only. So it kind of adds that exclusivity. Um, and then she also has like her brands here because this is her personal brand website. So if you got here and you're like, well, wait, who's Becky? I know Modern Direct Seller or I know Oh My High, that's all here. And she's got her social links here. Now, I will say my hot take on social links being in like before people have to scroll, if you're super active, super engaged, if there's a lot happening on your social media, then fine. But I get nervous if you don't have a lot of warm people coming to your website and they go to social media from here to see and check you out, then they're gone. They're on social media, they're scrolling and they're doing all of that stuff. It's harder to get them back to your website. So just be thoughtful about how active you are and how present you are. Becky's very active on social media, so there's a lot of ways for her to convert people in that avenue as well. But if that's kind of a secondary piece of your business, I would maybe recommend not putting social media on your, like before people scroll. I don't know, Lisa, if you have any thoughts about that.
Oh, I agree. I agree 100% with you.
Okay, cool. So let's go now to Shailene. And I think what's great about this, now this is a lot of text. However, she's got a great photo of her product, so I kind of already know what she's kind of selling, and a great photo of her doing the thing that she's selling, right? And so these pictures make me want to read this text. So if there's no connection between the text and the copy, then that's where I think people get lost. So she talks about I love skincare that works. She also talks about fitness in her real life and things like that. So these pictures kind of allow me to get excited about reading this. And then I love this. What do you need most? So she obviously does multiple things, and a lot of us are dipping our hands in whether it's multiple companies or we just are multi-passionate. So I love that she has these buttons to allow me to kind of choose my own adventure. So it doesn't matter how I got here, if it was from a social post, if it was from an email, if it was from Google, I can kind of um, click on the button that makes sense. And this is really important, these are simple words. I don't
Hmm.
have to think about it. I don't have to be like, what is she trying to tell me? Like fitness and habits, okay, that makes sense to me no matter what, right? Support your body. Okay, I get it. We tend to try to get a little bit cutesy sometimes, and I think that's where we get into trouble and people get confused and they're like, I don't know what this is. I'm moving on. So this is a great way, especially if you have multiple things going on in your business. Remember, it's about the transformation, like the what are we selling, not necessarily the product itself, that can be featured on these buttons.
And I just want to jump in there for a sec, Sammy, because
Yeah.
I'm finding that a lot of people are putting words on their buttons that is sort of like a company jargon.
Yep.
Like so it's information that you would only know if you know that company.
Hmm.
So keep in mind that you're looking to bring people to your site that don't know you. Like, like that's your ideal way to be found. So making it clear is super important.
Yep. Especially we see a lot of acronyms.
Hmm.
Yep. Which in you see it up here in the header too, right? Like Tastefully Simple.
Yeah.
Okay, but this is Debbie, and she is with Tastefully Simple. And again, this is a little bit similar to Shailene's, but again, paying attention to what are the main calls to action. So Shop Now is obviously one, browse recipes. She's also got them duplicated up here, which is great. But I love, again, you see her personality in these photos, and they're her. These are not company photos that you just copy paste here. These are her personality because I think as we've talked before, there's so many consultants or reps at your companies or people, even if you're selling a service or you're an author or you whatever, like there's so many people that do what you do. It's how you do it and who you are that make you stand out. So you can see Debbie's personality in these photos and it's great and it's fun. And I'm like, who's this person? I want to see what she's got going on, right? And then she's just got very clear calls to action here. She also says in this text very succinctly, there's easy recipes, monthly meal prep classes, simple meals, less stress. Like she's hitting on pain points that people might be having when it comes to their food, and she's the one who's going to help you solve that. So I just think it's a great example of um, I see you, I connect with you as a person, and I'm also like, okay, I know what your POV is and how you're going to support me when it comes to meals. And she doesn't even say tastefully simple here. And I think that's really
Hmm.
important. It doesn't matter, right?
Right.
People want to engage and connect with you. Though how you solve their problem can come later. So we don't need to give them too much information.
Yeah. And I love that she's building her brand first,
Yep.
not tastefully simple. They can build their own brand.
Exactly. Exactly. So those are just three kind of fun examples. But really have fun with it, test it. Remember what's the problem you solve? How are you solving that problem? How are you connecting with people? That's what you want to make sure is in your header and what's in it for them. I think that's the thing that people miss the most. What's in it for the people, not what's in it for me. What's in it for them.
Awesome. All right. I'm going to show you. I'm going to take you to the Oh My High page. So this is our page editor. If you go in and you're going to add any new page to a website, it doesn't matter even what template that you come in from. When you go in to add a new page, you get access to the full pattern library. So right today we're going to look at the pages. So these are basically full pages that Oh My High has created for you. So full patterns. And I can't stress this enough. I totally recommend starting your pages with a pattern, even if you don't like exactly everything that's on there. So let's use this one because this is a popular pattern that people start out with. So, okay, say I love this information. I love that the images are here. I want maybe, I don't want a button in this area. Maybe I want to put a form, right? Or something else. So I can easily manipulate this pattern. So if I go into the section here, I I'm on this button, I can simply add, and I like to go this way. So I just type in form here and I'm going to look for fluent form. And you'll notice that it's dropped the fluent form there. And now I could just simply delete the the button from there and I can pick any one of my forms and embed it here. So it's a great way for an easy opt-in. The images as well, like, I mean, you could play around with these images if you want it, even like if you wanted two smaller images, right? You can even duplicate this and then change the size of the image to maybe a square. And then maybe this
Hmm.
one's a square, right? So there's ways that you can manipulate the patterns, but what I love is that the patterns are already optimized to both desktop and mobile. So you don't have to worry about updating the padding to get the spacing in between these sections. You don't have to worry about, grouping it so that you get the color consistency across the whole area. So if you wanted to start and play around with the patterns, then just do it that way. You can I mean, even if we went back in here, let's say we're going to go back in here and let's add the buttons back, and we're going to get rid of the fluent form. Just delete that and say I wanted to add more buttons, right? I could just keep duplicating the
Hmm.
buttons, right? And then if you want it to change the layout of the buttons, maybe you wanted them to stack on top of each other. Well, you can do that and you can make them 100%, right? Or 75%, whatever it is. You can even, if you, I know that a lot of people are liking the ombre effect, right? So if you want it to go in here and change the color of, say, this background to like a dark blue, and then you're going to change this pattern background to a lighter blue, let's say, and then this one here to even a lighter blue, right? You can play around with that just to grab attention. But remember, this all started with a pattern and I could customize it however I want. So that's just one little tip that I wanted to show you. But I love the pattern library. So when I'm looking for anything, and even though I know how to like manipulate the screen and make it do what I want it to do, I will still go with the patterns.
Yeah, it's like when you
The
start
easy
writing
button.
something, it's like the blinking cursor when you look at a blank screen, it's so hard to kind of figure it out. I love that.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. So I hope that helps because I think that's one of the number one questions I get in the inbox is, I did this and I can't get this to work. It's not stretching or I can't change the color. And my number one response is, did you start with a pattern? And if not, here's what I suggest. So I just
Yeah,
wanted
make
to
your
show
life
that
easier.
today. Exactly.
I love that. Also, I think if you're struggling with like what should my header look like, I also encourage people to look at websites that are not in your industry. Because I think sometimes that can even be more like you can just look at websites and just be like, hey,
Hmm.
or when you're shopping around, you're like, oh, I really love this feature. Like jot it down, because Oh My High can do it. Um, but we find inspiration in all these different places, and I think we tend to look so internally. Like if you're in direct sales, then you're looking only at your company's version, right? So
Hmm.
push yourself outside of your industry, and look at what people are doing with their header or their hero images and their hero kind of area of their website, and have fun with it.
Hmm. Yeah.
Any last words, Lisa?
No, I just hope that this Oh My High Insider was very helpful for people because I was excited when I said to Sammy, you know what, I think we need to talk about this. So
Yeah.
I hope you guys get a lot of ahas and takeaways from this, and we look forward to seeing what your updates look like.
Yeah, and if you didn't watch last month's because the two of them will go really hand in hand together.
Yeah. And I just will say that if you are in the Oh My High community and Facebook has removed the Oh My High insiders, because I think there's
Oh,
only like
that's
a one
right.
month delay, you can find them in your back office in the events tab. There's a replay section and all our Oh My High insiders live there.
Oh, that's a good tip. I love it. Well, we'll see you next month, so make sure you let us know if there's a topic that you want us to talk about. Otherwise, make sure you hang out with Lisa every week in live support.
Yep.
Um, and it's already gonna be June. So
Yeah.
thanks so much for hanging out with us.